What's going on, guys? OG here from Infinity Loops, and today I am bringing you the NewBeeDrone Hummingbird V4 bind and fly. And rather than sit here and talk about it, it's a beautiful day outside. I thought we would just go ahead and plug her up, take her out, give her a little rip, see how she does, and then we can come back and do some talk. This is PH2. What year is it? Well, I guess we're not flying that. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Okay, if you guys are still here, you made it through my stupid little jokey joke. Again, we are talking about NewBeeDrone's new Hummingbird V4 bind and fly, and I gotta be honest, just visually, it looks pretty similar to the last version of the Hummingbird bind and fly. I believe it was called the V3.1, the one before the race spec. But there are a few notable differences that I do want to point out. The one that's most obvious, I think, is their new camera mount. It's the new Goober V2 camera mount that actually has adjustable angle. I believe their site says that it goes all the way up to 55 degrees and all the way down to 5 degrees. Another big difference is this Hummingbird is now using the SmartMax 400 milliwatt VTX, which basically controls your maximum output based off of the temperature of the flight controller. It's supposed to help things from overheating. I would imagine that it probably saves on battery life because you're not just pumping out a constant 400 milliwatts no matter what. We're going to try to get some longer, for me, range testing in with this if we get some cooperation out of the weather, and we'll see kind of how far the range that we get out of it is. Apparently NewBeeDrone has fixed the OSD issues that previous Hummingbirds have had. If you guys have watched any of my previous Hummingbird reviews or live streams that I've done, we've seen a lot of issues with the OSD flickering or just putting up random characters on the screen. We've seen backup cameras. We've seen all kinds of random little video issues with previous versions. So I hope that they did take care of that with this one, and we're gonna see. Last thing that I did want to talk about with the new things on this bind and fly is this is also using the 0702 30,000 kV motors. I'm not sure if they're the exact same motors that were on the Hummingbird race spec. I know the wires are different. The race spec motors used enameled wires, and it also uses motor plugs. It's not direct soldered to the flight controller, but we'll have to see what and if any kind of difference I can notice out of the performance of that. As I said in the beginning of the video, this is still coming with a PH 2.0 battery connector. I'm not really quite sure why that decision was made, considering that the Hummingbird race spec came with the A30 connector, which I think if you're not going to have a BT 2.0, an A30 should definitely be a standard. Hardly anybody even has PH 2.0 batteries anymore. Like I said, I had to borrow some from Heads to just be able to fly this thing without having to rip the pigtail off instantly. So in my opinion, a little bit of a miss with that one. We're going to do a little bit of racing. I'm going to set up a track back behind me in the basement here. I'll take it outside, might take it to work with me, fly a few packs just on my lunch break. If weather cooperates, we'll get a little bit of a longer flight going. So let's go do some flying with this thing, come back and talk about my thoughts. Okay, we're back, and I have had some time to fly this, and I've got to say it flies about what I expected. It's nothing crazy. The tune was okay. It didn't really handle the windier conditions all that well, but overall, when I was flying it inside or on calmer days, it wasn't too bad. The VTX with the Smart Max maximum output actually had pretty good penetration. I was surprised by that, and another thing I was surprised by is even with the PH2 battery, it didn't really seem like the VTX output really hurt battery life all that much. So pleasantly surprised. Also no overheating issues, so that was good. Now on to the PH2 battery connector. I definitely think that is by far this Whoop's biggest drawback. I don't know again why they put that on there, but I was getting battery sag pretty much from the time I took off until all throughout the pack. I didn't really trust my battery enough to send it super long range or anything like that. And granted, the batteries I was using belong to Heads, and they aren't exactly brand new PH2 batteries, but they have been storage charged properly, so I expected a little bit better than what it was with that. I did wind up, after the fact, throwing a BT2 on it and taking it for a little cruise around my neighborhood, and definitely felt like I could trust that a little bit more. I had a little more solid battery performance throughout the pack versus with the PH2. But again, I think we all kind of expected that. Another thing that wasn't a huge issue, but it was something that I wanted to make mention of, is the Goober canopy, Goober V2 canopy. There's only a certain limit to how much you can tighten these screws on the side for your camera, so it is susceptible to, on hard crashes, your camera angle changing. Another issue that I did want to mention is on the PH2 when I was flying it stock, on both the 100 milliwatts in the max output for the VTX, when I would get about halfway, 3/4 through the pack, I started getting these weird video blackouts whenever I would blip the throttle for anything. And as soon as I would let off the throttle, it would come right back. It still was kind of disorienting to see. And luckily I was able to fly through pretty much every time that it happened. That's why I didn't really fully trust sending it too far downrange. All right, that's gonna do it for the NewBeeDrone Hummingbird V4 bind and fly. I'll leave a link in the description below. It's currently on sale for $79.99 on NewBeeDrone.com, just in case you want to check it out for yourself. I will say if you do check it out, I would recommend instantly swapping out that pigtail to a BT 2.0 or an A30 connector, and just saving yourself the hassle. That way you also don't have to buy extra batteries, because chances are you don't have any PH 2.0. But again, thank you guys so much. Let me know how you like it. If you decide to check it out yourself, let me know what you think. Till the next time, guys. Peace.